Alrighty, so next up on our list, we're going to do a little user interface thing here. Okay. Well, first thing I'm going to want is I'm going to want some fonts here. So I've gone to 1001 free fonts. And, there's half a dozen different places that you could go. I'm just going to take a look at a couple of sci-fi fonts. Don't want Star Wars. Kind of like this one. So let's maybe grab that one. Yeah, save it. Fine. I don't normally use Internet Explorer, so it's kind of weird. I like that one. Electra is a little bit too obvious, I think. And maybe this one. So that's going to give me 3 fonts that I kind of like, and I'll just throw all of those in. So let's go ahead and open the folder where we downloaded these. Alright, there we go. Get out of Internet Explorer back there. Let's see. Yeah, I already set up Office 365, so I don't need that anymore. Okay, so let's go ahead and open these up. We'll just, let's see, I'm using 7-zip, so I'll just do it that way. Let's do that. And you can do extract all too if you want, but let's do that. And let's do that. Okay, so I've got those 3. Let's come over here into our project. Let's create a folder for my fonts, like so. And I'm going to go ahead and take my fonts, my 3 font folders right there, and I'm just going to drag them into my fonts folder over here, like so. And now I should have some fonts in here that I can play around with, right? Cool. Alright, so I've got fonts in there. So let's go ahead and get started building our UI. We're definitely going to need to be able to see our game view here. And let's see. So user interfaces with Unity uses a canvas system. So I'm going to go ahead and do a game object and go to my UI, and I'm going to add a canvas. That's my parent object here. A couple things here. I'm going to definitely want screen space overlay, which basically means it's going to overlay on top of my whole screen. That's cool. The other thing is this UI scale mode. Right now it's constant pixel size, but if I ever did want my user interface to be able to allow different resolutions or whatever, I really should change this to a scale with screen size and go ahead and give it a default of whatever I'm going to use, which I'm going to do 500 by 300. And even though I'm not going to allow this game to change sizes, I'll just throw that in there anyway. Okay, yeah, so we've got our canvas. So next up, I'm going to go ahead and go to my UI. I'm going to add a text, and I'm going to call this text score. So this is going to be the player's score. So right down here where it says new text, I'm going to do score, colon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say they can possibly get 5. Let's go to our font, hit my dots right there, and let's see what options we have for our fonts. See which one we like. Oh, I like that one. I like that one too. Not so much so. I kind of like this one, actually. Okay, so let me see what I can do with Astron Boy Wonder. Is that Astro Boy? I don't know. Changes. Let's change our color. What do you think? Red. And it might end up that I can't actually do anything with this, but yeah, let me go ahead and go back to that other one that I liked, which was you. I want this one. I'm going to use that one. I don't want green. That was just kind of testing stuff there. Find a color. Find something that I do like. I like that one. Whatever those values are. I'm going to go ahead and position this where I want it to be in my scene. So let's go score. Now I zoom out. Now notice my game is actually way down here. This is my canvas, right? But so my canvas is displayed in pixels, which is a little bit different from what we're kind of used to seeing. So I'm going to put my score over there or over here. What do you think? I mean, you can go either way. I'm going to put my score right here, like so. like so. Alright, there we go. So I've got a score out there. Then I'm going to do a canvas, right click, UI note. You know what? I'm going to copy my score. So I'm going to select score, Control D. There's a copy of it, and this is going to be lives. And it's going to say lives : 0. Alright, let's slide you over to here. Pretty nice. Okay, alright, so we've got that set up. Not bad. So let's go to our, let's say game manager. And I'm going to start getting my score system working. Okay, so let's go into our score system. Here's our score system. And so we increase our score right here. And while we increase our score, I want to go ahead and update my user interface. So let's do this. Let's go. Trying to think about the best way I want to do this. I'm going to go variables. I'm going to create a new variable. I'm going to call this my score display. And I'm going to take a look at what my options are here. And see what options they give me. So let's go with a game object. Let's see what, no, let's go with an object down here. Let's add that. And it's an object of type what? Well, let's see what we've got here. No, not Playmaker, editor. Okay, so Unity Engine. Let's see what we have in Unity Engine. We've got a canvas object. Not really looking for that. Gonna scroll on down here. GUI, this stuff, this is the old system. You know, you can use this, but it won't actually, it doesn't relate to this out here. So I'm expecting to find something of type text. Remember, this thing that we created was a text thing. So let's get down here a little ways. And still going. Clicky clicky. Terrain, text asset, text mesh, texture. I don't know if that's what I want there. Okay, so let's do it another way. I'm going to go with my state. That should be text. Let me double check. Hold on. Let me just double check this really quick. Okay, we're ready to go now. Basically, I didn't want to waste your time with me hunting around trying to find what I was looking for. But what I'm looking for is a text object, as I mentioned. But the text object is going to be a child, or is going to be a part of the user interface, the UI. So if I keep going down here, boom, 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 and get down here. So this is kind of where I stopped, and I was like, I don't see it. I'm going to panic. So if I go to UI, there's my text. And these are all the UI kinds of things that I can add. So I want a text object. And I'm going to go ahead and make this an inspector. Like so. Which means I can take, this is what score. I'm going to put score down there. Alright, so it's down there. Okay, so let's go back to our state for our increased score. And what we want to do is we want to build a string that we're going to put out there. So let's go with an action browser. And let's go with a string. And what we have here, if we can find build string, that's what I want. So I'm going to do an add that action to state. It's going to have two parts. And the two parts is going to have element 0 is going to be score, space. And element 1 is going to be my player score, which means I need to convert my player score to a string. So let's go action browser. Let's do int. Let's do convert. Actually, I think I probably saw it down there. Convert int to string is right here. So the int variable I want is going to be player score. The string I want to store it in is going to be a new variable. I'm going to call this score string, like so. Format every frame just once. So element 1 right here is going to be score string. We're going to store this result as score text, like so. And now we're going to go ahead and update this object out here. So we're going to go to Let's see, what can we do? Let's go with a set property, I think is what I'm going to want. Action browser, set property. Right there it is. Now I want it down here at the bottom. Put it right here. Target object is going to be my score display. The property I want to change is going to be my text property. And the value I want to give it is going to be this score text that I just created right there. Right? Score text. And I don't need to do it every frame. I'm just going to do it once. Alright, let's see what that looks like. So let's do a couple tweaks out here. Let's select our score, and I'm going to start my score off at a score of 0 for now. There we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and play this and see what happens. Hopefully this works. Shoot. Die! Dang it. Cheated. At least I think it cheated. Oh, come on now. Oh, great. I can't shoot anything. Where'd they go? They ran away. You're going to get me, aren't you? Okay, I got 50 points. I got 100 points there. Looking pretty good. Okay, so our score... No, don't. Hey. Okay, yeah, I'm going to get sidetracked here, so let me stop. Alright, so now we just need to update our lives. So, once again, let's go to our game manager. I think our game manager will probably be the easiest place to do this. Yeah, not really. The easiest place is going to be in our player ship where we're doing all this anyway. So, our lives... Let's go into here, and we're just going to do the same kind of thing I just did. Let's go to variables, and we're going to do a life display, and it is going to be of type object. We're going to add that, and object type is going to be Unity Engine. Then we're going to go way down here to UI, and then we're going to select text. Okay, so let's get down here. And we're almost there. I think we're almost there. UI and text. There we go. And you're going to also be an inspector. And so as long as I'm here, before I forget, I'm going to scroll down here. There's my life display. So let's put our lives down here like so. Okay. Let's go over here to our initialize. And in my initialize, I'm going to do a, let's do a int to string. Convert int to string. I'm going to convert my current lives to a string. And this is going to be a life string, like so. There we go. And then I'm going to do an action browser. I'm going to do a build string. I'm going to do the same thing we just did with the score. Bring that down here. String parts are going to be 2. First one is going to be, come on. So the first one here, element 0, is going to be what? Lives. Lives colon space. Element 1 is going to be life string. We're going to store this into new variable that I'm going to call life text. And then we're going to do an action browser. We're going to do a set property. Did I spell it wrong? Set property. Right there it is. We're going to put that down here at the bottom. And the property I want to set is going to be on my life display. It's going to be a text, a string, and I'm going to use my life text right there just once. Okay. Now, so that's going to initialize it. Now let's go ahead and I'm going to select convert into string. Come down here, hold down shift. Nope, click there, hold down shift, and select all of these guys. So I've got all 3 selected. Right click, go to copy selected actions, and let's see, right here in our respawn delay. Let's go into our respawn delay, and we're going to paste these things, paste actions. We're going to put them all above wait. There we go. So inside here, we're going to take our current lives, convert it to a string. We're going to build a string that's lives colon current lives, and then we're going to spit that out to our life display to update that. So let's see how that works. Make sure our lives are being updated correctly. So we've got 3 lives. Nice. Shoot me. Okay, don't. What do I care? You shoot me. Don't, fine. Lives 2. Alright. Jimmy! Lives 1. I can't get down there. Boy, he was moving. No lives left. Oh, I'm not going to get up there. Notice it stayed at lives 0. It doesn't say -1, for instance. Okay. Hey, we got our lives working. So I just want to add one final little piece here. In my canvas, I'm going to right click, go to UI, go to another text, and this is going to be game over. And in the text, it is going to say, surprisingly enough, game over, like so. Let's change this to be, I'm going to go bold. Let's give ourselves a new color here. I don't know where I'm going. Get up here. Maybe something like that. That'll do. Let's increase our font size. Let's change our horizontal overflow to be overflow. So now we see that. Let's go ahead and move. Boom, 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 boom. Game over. Like so. We'll put it right about there. Nice. And then we're going to go ahead and boom, turn this game object off. Alright, now go back to our player ship. Bring our player ship over here. We're going to create another variable. Let's do another variable. And this variable is going to be game over display. It's going to be of type game object. That's all I need. Make it an inspector, which is going to allow me to come down here and my game over display right there. Just pull it down here like so. Okay. Now down here inside my dead state, once I've died, go to action browser. We'll do a, let's take a look at our set property. And I'm going to look at my, not that. That's not the action I wanted. So let's look at, let's type game object and see what type of things we have for game objects. We have a sets the value of a game object variable. That's not going to help me. Activate a game object. Hey, that's what I want to do. I want to turn on that game object. So there we go. I'm going to add that. Where'd it go? There it is. Activate game object. What game object? We're going to specify, and we're going to use our game over display. We're going to activate it, and yeah, that's what we're going to do. So let's see how, let's go die again and see what we got. Shoot me or not, that's cool. You know, whatever. Come on, bad guys. Yeah, I know you want to get me. Okay, you got me. See, this was the case where I was talking about if I had just changed my variable down to just 1, you know, I'd die a whole lot quicker. Make it a little bit easier for that testing right there. Game over. Boom. And these guys still kind of go about like they're still, you know, raiding our city back there. Hey, we got a working user interface in place. Questions, just drop them down below.